Okay, so I kind of wanted this video to be all raw and uncut. But I have a feeling I'll be editing this because I'm a little flustered because, I'm new to this. I thought it would be fun to share the story behind the Honest single that I released today. So, this song actually was birthed out of this process that I've been in since I was turning 25. So I think it was 2018, I had a bit of a quarter life crisis because it was just after I was kind of rejected by someone that I had really liked in a big way. And also I just kind of started to notice that there were a lot of hot things in me that I had been struggling with for a while. So for example, it was really hard for me to feel loved. I would always say that my heart kind of felt like this bucket that had holes in it. And so people would come and pour in love and pour in love and pour in love, and God would kind of pour in love, and it would just kind of seep out, and I would forget that I'm loved. And it was just I couldn't feel this sense of connection consistently. And that was really hard for me because I couldn't sustain friendships very well, and I didn't know how to do romance long term without it just being this really scary, painful, chaotic thing for me emotionally and mentally. So when I was turning 25, I was like, you know what? We're not putting someone through this. I want to get married. I want to have amazing kids. I want to be a great mom. I want to be a great friend, a great daughter. So, wow. I went to bed really late last night, guys, doing some music stuff. So I woke up late, voice is still groggy. But yeah, I was like, you know what, Candace, it's time to kind of actively pursue healing for your heart. So what I actually did was I started this course at my local church called Freedom Session. It's kind of like Alcoholics Anonymous for the soul, basically. It's like a 12, was it 12? No, it was not 12 weeks. It was several months, maybe 20 weeks or so of, hard work looking at your childhood wounds, ways that people have sinned against you, ways that you have sinned against others, learning how to confess your sins to people, forgive, and that kind of thing. Extremely hard process. But I remember the first session, the facilitator was talking about, he said, a lot of you here walk around feeling really unloved because you're actually walking around with this mask on, this mask of perfection. And people fall in love with that mask, right? Your friends, your family, your significant others, they fall in love with that mask, but you don't feel loved because you know that mask isn't you. And when he said that, I was like, oh, yep, that's me. Because I know all through my life, I was, measuring, okay, what does my parents like? What do they not like? Let me make sure that I do exactly what they like so that I can be loved. Or I was always trying to preserve this image of perfection because of the family I was in, the school that I went to, etc. And also, honestly, just my own expectations of myself. It was this duality that I dealt with. Because on one hand, I was just like, oh, can someone please just see the fact that I'm not perfect? I have a lot of flaws. I have a lot of sin that I deal with, and I need a friend. I need help. I need companionship. I need closeness. And then on the other hand, it was just this fear of don't actually come too close. Don't see me because I don't want to pop that bubble of perfection that you have in your head. Hey, music fam. I just wanted to say that coming into the end of the video, my mic started to make some weird little popping sounds, but I decided to just keep the audio since I think what I was saying was good. So thanks so much. Sorry if it's distracting, but hopefully I can not have that happen again in the future. Okay, back to the video. And so it was just this terrifying thing for me. But this process kind of started me on this train of like risking taking off those masks. I shared with some of my close trusted friends addictions that I was going through, shared them with my parents as well. And I also even told my mom, I was like, hey mom, like I realized that for most of my life, I didn't think that y'all loved me because I always felt like I was calculating my every move to make sure that I just did what was pleasing to y'all. And I always feared that if I ever broke that, formula, then I wouldn't be loved anymore. And through that process of confession, I was really able to heal in a lot of ways and just kind of be more authentically myself and kind of walk around with so much less shame than I have before. So that was kind of the journey of me being honest. I think now maybe I'm a little too honest and I'm learning how to healthily withhold information. Yeah, I think now I'm kind of learning how to be like, okay, like what is actually appropriate to share. You don't have to share your entire life story. You don't have to share everything on your heart and mind. So I think now I'm kind of learning the dance of honesty, authenticity, and restraint. So which is kind of interesting because I think I'm quite different from how I was several years ago. But I'm still in the process of learning how to not hide from love. My heart still has such a long way to go. Recently, I was watching this video series on safe people and just kind of looking at, this is why I feel safe with these people and why I don't feel safe with these people. But also like, these are the things that I do that aren't actually safe for myself or for other people. And this is why I actually feel really safe with the Lord. And I've just kind of been doing a lot of heart work that way. But I think one of the key things too that God has been kind of showing me recently is that I need to let Him guide my heart healing process. Because I think that on the one hand, when I started this process of like deep diving into heart healing and excavating all the old wounds and I honestly overwhelmed myself because I wasn't actually going at the pace of grace and relationship, but I was going at the pace of my own anxiety to fix myself. And so I was just kind of like digging up things without much support systems. And in the end, I kind of crashed. I had like about 2 years of intense anxiety, depression attacks, kind of coinciding with the time of COVID and things like that. And so right now, God has been kind of really challenging me to move at the pace of grace, which is really hard because now I'm so used to deep diving into my soul, seeing things that need a fix and being like, okay, God, how do we fix this thing? But God is kind of really challenging me now, like, okay, now you know how to be honest with your own heart and honest with me and honest with others. But now I'm actually going to teach you what the response to that actually is from heaven, which is I'm going to actually love you so much that you eventually outgrow, the wounds. And it's not about me coming in to fix, but me coming in to love so that you feel safe enough to heal and you naturally outgrow those things. So it's kind of a learning thing, and I'm so glad that you get to be part of it. And I'm glad that I'm able to kind of document this journey through music. So I'll probably be sharing some content in line with this, if that's something you're interested in. And feel free to comment below and let me know anything you'd like me to share about, any behind the scenes things you're curious about, and I'll be here for it.